The most painful internet challenge deaths ever. Butterfly Challenge. In February 2025, Brazilian teenager Davi Nunes Moreira thought it would be a great idea to do something odd and risky, like those who joined the Butterfly Online Challenge. The disturbing challenge in South America involves injecting crushed butterfly remains into one's body. So, he injected a mixture of dead butterfly remains and water into his leg, perhaps to prove to others that his immune system is strong enough. Throughout the next week, the physical harm began to show. Moreira was hospitalized in a fatal state after suffering excruciating pain from internal infections, vomiting, and being unable to walk. At first, Davi told his father he had hurt himself playing, but later confessed to using the butterfly mixture in an injection. His father also found a syringe under his pillow while cleaning his room. 7 days after the injection, the teenager lost his life. The exact cause of Moreira's death is still under investigation. Experts suggest it might be linked to toxins from the butterfly remains, causing septic shock or possibly an embolism or allergic reaction. Medical specialists note uncertainty about how the mixture was prepared or if air entered the bloodstream, which can cause fatal embolism. Local police await autopsy results for final answers. Moreover, local police have not yet confirmed whether Moreira was directly influenced by an online challenge. The kid denied any link to the so-called butterfly challenge trend before his death. One Chip Challenge. On September 1, 2023, 10th grader Harris Walba in Massachusetts was at school when he decided to join the viral spicy tortilla chip challenge. He ate one single chip, the Pak chip, as part of the manufacturer's One Chip Challenge to promote the product. It is infused with a high concentration of capsaicin, the chemical responsible for chili pepper's heat. Hours after consuming the chip, Harris fainted at school and later lost consciousness at home. He was taken to the hospital, but tragically passed away. An autopsy revealed his cause of death as cardiopulmonary arrest related to the ingestion of the chip with its intense capsaicin level. Walba had a congenital heart defect and an enlarged heart, but medical experts concluded these were not the primary reason for his death. The excessive spiciness likely triggered a fatal cardiac event. The chip was originally marketed with warnings against consumption by children or those sensitive to spicy foods, but following Walba's death, Paki recalled a product and urged retailers to stop selling it. His family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Paki, Walgreens, and others. They alleged negligent marketing and sales practices that made the extremely spicy chip accessible to minors via social media challenges. Dusting, or chroming. Dusting, also known as chroming or huffing, is a viral TikTok trend that involves inhaling common household cleaners to get high for views online. An enthusiast of this deadly social challenge is 19-year-old Rena O'Rourke. On June 25th, O'Rourke ordered aerosol keyboard cleaner without her parents' knowledge to inhale its chemicals with her boyfriend at home. Shortly after inhaling the toxic chemicals, O'Rourke went into cardiac arrest and was hospitalized. She spent a week unconscious in the intensive care unit before being declared brain dead. Health experts emphasize that inhaling these chemicals causes severe damage to the lungs, brain, and heart. The common fatal outcomes include respiratory distress, chemical pneumonitis, or cardiac arrest. But despite awareness efforts, many teens still engage in inhalant abuse because it's easily accessible, affordable, and odorless, making detection difficult. The girl's father shared, "She always said, 'I'm going to be famous, Dad. Just you watch. I'm going to be famous.'" And unfortunately, this is not under the most optimal circumstances. Now O'Rourke's family is working to honor Rena by spreading the word about dangers of huffing for teens and parents. Planking. On May 15, 2011, a young man, Acton Beale from Brisbane, Australia, participated in an internet craze called planking on Facebook. While others chose unusual and funny locations to lie flat on their stomachs, such as an office desk or front of the White House, Beale took the challenge to another level. He attempted to plank on the railing of a 7th-floor apartment balcony in Kangaroo Point, Brisbane. Beale thought it would get him the most viral photo on Facebook. Unfortunately, he quickly lost his balance and fell 7 stories to his death. Police revealed that Beale had been drinking alcohol prior to the incident. This was the very first death associated with the planking trend, recorded by Australian police and media. While safe planking in low-risk spots is harmless, it takes away all the thrill. Young people like Beale were overly drawn to the social media attention the craze brought. They were willing to throw themselves into life-threatening situations. Blackout Challenge. The Blackout Challenge, is an internet craze based around the choking game, which deprives the brain of oxygen and induces temporary unconsciousness. It gained widespread attention on TikTok in 2021, primarily among children. Archie Battersby from southern Essex, England, was only 12 in 2022. In the month of April, his mother found him unconscious at home with a dressing gown cord around his neck. She tried to perform CPR on him before emergency services arrived. The boy was kept on life support after doctors declared that he was brain dead in June, and died after being removed from ventilation in August. It appears that the strangulation back in April resulted in the lack of oxygen and caused him a catastrophic brain injury. While his mother believed Battersby had been participating in the Blackout challenge, the Essex chief coroner found no evidence that this was the case. The family had requested social media investigations, but police and reports found no conclusive link to the challenge. Chubby Bunny. The Chubby Bunny challenge is a dangerous game that involves players putting as many marshmallows as possible into their mouths and saying the phrase, "Chubby Bunny," after each one. Despite the risk of choking, it had become a popular leisure activity since the 90s. During an annual fair at Hoffman Elementary, Illinois, 1999, the students were excited to engage in fun activities, including the Chubby Bunny game. The game was planned to be supervised by adults. 12-year-old Catherine Casey Fish and her friends couldn't hold back the urge and played the game 10 minutes before it was scheduled to start. At that time, the teacher had briefly stepped out of the room to speak with the custodian. Fish filled her mouth with 4 marshmallows and tried her best not to chew or swallow them. Soon she showed signs of distress. The girl choked and collapsed. School staff rushed in to revive her using the Heimlich maneuver and CPR. However, Fish was pronounced dead a few hours later at Glenbrook Hospital. The young girl's painful death wasn't the first case related to this risky challenge. Another recorded death involved a 32-year-old Janet Rudd, who died in 2006 while participating in a Chubby Bunny competition at a fair in London, Ontario, Canada. Emergency responders were unable to clear the blockage in her throat. More recently, in October of 2023, 37-year-old Natalie Buss also died after choking during a similar marshmallow eating competition at a rugby club event. Table towing. In June 2025, teenager David Nagy from Pennsylvania decided that he wanted to be part of the perilous social media stunt named table towing. The challenge involved tying a folding table to the back of a car and riding on top of it as the car was driven. Nagy asked a friend to be the driver, and he would be the one standing on the table. They chose the Bethlehem Township School's parking lot to perform this stunt. The upside-down folding table was tied to the vehicle, and Nagy sat on it while his friend drove recklessly. After a while, the driver lost control and whipped the table into a parked car. Nagy fell off the table and crashed into the other car and ended up losing his life. The young driver was charged with involuntary manslaughter. The district attorney said that case was one of 2 recent incidences in the township linked to social media challenges, posing deadly risks to local teenagers. Run it straight. On Monday in May of 2025, 19-year-old Ryan Satterthwaite from New Zealand joined a group of friends in a social media frenzy called Run It Straight. The game features 2 people, without protective gear, running full speed at each other to knock the other over like rugby players. Ryan participated in this informal, unsupervised version of the challenge with friends. The young man was tackled so hard that he suffered a catastrophic head injury and passed away at night despite prompt medical intervention. In fact, this game has long been played casually in Australia and New Zealand. It was recently hyped up online as a thrilling physical challenge with videos on TikTok and Instagram clocking millions of views. After Satterthwaite's death, his uncle called for the cancellation of Run It Straight events, highlighting how social media influencers and the game's marketing glorify risky behavior.